Spoilers and offensive content to come.
Life! It's like a hurricane. You're in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur!
Okay there, Captain Kirk.
We might solve a mystery.
Oh my god.
Or rewrite history.
This is the Carlos and Dave anime rave. I'm cutting this off right now.
I'm Captain Kirk!
I'm Dave. That idiot is Carlos.
Oh,
we're watching DuckTales.
Sorry, hang on a minute. That actually made me a little faint.
Dumbass.
Maybe I put a little too much oxygen into that. I'm losing my ship! Duh, 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 duh. Remember that episode with the kids? And they were controlling the ship?
What is wrong with you?
And he's like, I'm Captain Kirk!
What is wrong with you?
And then William Shatner recorded that album in the 60s.
Oh, God.
Suddenly, you were there!
Anyway, this is DuckTales. We're going to watch a bunch of episodes. We're a little bit behind on these, so we're going to catch up.
So that was episode 9 of DuckTales. You can definitely tell that this was supposed to be like the third episode.
Yeah.
Especially with Scrooge's ending line, plenty more adventures where that came from. Establishing Huey's Junior Woodchuck stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I know I said this at the end of episode 8, but now we really are past when all these episodes were supposed to have aired, regardless of the order. So whenever episode 10 comes, it will be the right, proper episode.
Are you sure 10 shouldn't have been episode 1?
Yeah, it's just episode 1 again. It's a time loop.
With different circumstances.
Yep.
That'd actually be a clever episode 10.
That would be a weird episode 10.
You're watching, you're like, wait a sec. The horse isn't headless anymore. The pirate is.
Headless pirate. It's Mickey instead of Donald or some shit.
Yeah. No, good episode.
Launchpad.
A little bit of
stupid as ever.
A little bit of Scrooge's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not liking just how stupid Launchpad is.
Fuck Launchpad.
I don't mind him being stupid in the whole haha I crash everything. But come on.
Yeah, fuck him. He took Donald's spot in the original show. He still has to pay.
Dude, he's taking Donald's spot now.
Not really. There have been plenty of Donald spotlights. And 2 Launchpad spotlights, and they were
Donald
off-screen.
will slowly recede into the background, never to be... He'll go and join the Navy again.
Yeah. It better not. I'll be very upset.
Bye, Donald! Hope we never see you again in the Navy.
Yeah, Dave, sing that whole song.
Nope.
Thanks for pushing me back there. I promise I'll never stop until we find the truth. With this sphere as my witness, Oh, no!
We should go now.
Okay, I think I found the problem.
And they all died, thanks to Launchpad McQuack. As usual, fucking everything up.
Well, he did just prove a long-standing theory. He has a screw loose.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that was a great episode. Alluding to the past, the fact that they had a vacation there multiple times, and it was a good place until Zeus got his ass kicked and was all fucking butthurt for years.
Which is pretty, the gods are petty, and Zeus is petty. So.
Oh, Zeus was so petty. But yet, it's interesting how... I like how they're breaking into different groups doing different things now. Trying to find, their mom and everything else, while others are just doing their typical adventuring thing. I'm really glad Webby is so different in this show.
Oh yeah, she's one of my favorite characters in the show by far.
I don't think Launchpad is anywhere near as fun as he was in the original.
Launchpad was never fun. He's always useless.
You shut your mouth.
I like Webby in this show because I think I mentioned this before. She is a perfect fusion dance of Dipper and Mabel Pines.
Yes.
She's got Mabel's eccentricness and Dipper's mystery-solving inquisitiveness.
Absolutely.
No, I like her.
Who All we need now is somebody taking Uncle Stan's role.
Uncle Stan's role?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a Grunkle Stan character?
Yes.
You kind of have that in Donald a little bit. He's not conniving, but he doesn't want anything to do with this shit. Oh, what a fun episode. That one gave us Darkwing Duck, albeit in an in-fiction kind of deal. Gave us Gizmo Duck. It was a good launchpad episode while also being a good introduction for Gizmo Duck. Foiling the machines yet again. Which I'm not a fan of. I believe machines will save us from the cold, heartless embrace of Mother Nature. But for the purposes of this show, good time. And we're building up more plot threads and plot lines, multiple plot lines. We got the Magic Arc, the Spear of Selene, which may be related, the Mark Beaks Gizmo Duck angle now. It's good stuff.
Mark Beaks actually makes a very good new bad guy.
Yeah, he's better as a villain than just an annoying person like he was in his first few incarnations.
Wait, he's in a new character?
No, I mean, he's appeared in 2 episodes before.
Oh, okay. For a second there, I'm like, wait, was he actually in DuckTales that I didn't know?
I think he's loosely based off a character like him from the Carl Barks comics.
Okay.
But I mean, that applies to just about any character. A silly little observation, but notice how Scrooge immediately shielded the children from Launchpad.
Yep.
I mean, when you're around Launchpad and children, your first instinct must be to shield the children, if you are a noble soul.
You wouldn't be shielding the children.
No, I would not be around Launchpad. It just sounds like a bad idea.
No, I was saying you weren't a noble soul, but okay.
I'm not. There's no insult there. I will let the children die. I value my life far more than the children's. Such is the world.
Myself, I would throw you in front of the vehicle to save the children.
So, this is probably a very, very unoriginal observation, but I think this caddy is great!
Get out.
Do you have any Frosted Flakes?
No, I don't. Do you know why?
Because it's shitty cereal?
Because it is a sugar-laden, absolutely no nutritional value at all cereal.
That's most cereals. That's the best part of cereal. No nutritional value.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
And then an adult.
Now when I'm diabetic, not so good.
Are you diabetic?
Yes.
You're diabetic?
Yes.
Well, shit. Did you want that on the recording?
I am totally okay with it being on the recording.
I didn't know. When did you learn?
A couple of years.
What?
Take frickin' pills for it.
How have I never known this?
Yeah, no. So most cereals are not good.
So is there anything I should know in case you start dying in front of me?
Not really.
Okay. So let it happen then.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
Man, My Little Pony went in a weird direction.
Kelpies are the worst, man. Like, fucking Kelpies, they're basically like, they are murder ponies, basically.
They are. They absolutely.
They most mythical creatures are actually assholes. Unicorns, assholes. The Fae, most of them are assholes. Most of the gods, assholes.
Yeah, and most of the supernatural creatures were created to be assholes to mankind.
A lot of tales in Japanese myth involve creatures who are both assholes and who often want to do something to your asshole.
Sadly, that is too true.
Like kappas who want to suck the blood out of your anus.
This is not false. I cannot believe... Okay, I believe you know something about monsters that want assholes.
I've searched for many a kappa in my day. But they elude me. I tried everything I could. I traveled to the secluded Japanese island of Rimjobius, and I found none that would lick my anus for a fair price. I mean, no kappas.
Nobody wanted to put a kappa in your ass?
A tongue, anyway. Okay, this might be obvious, but why is Launchpad eating eggs like a duck?
I don't know. He's an idiot. So what did you think of Druid golfing?
Those Kelpies are great. Let's go for a victory swim. Fuck off, you stupid Kelpies.
And they jumped into the waters in the real world. Not in the Druid world. So they may be back.
Oh yeah, they were in some weird pocket dimension.
Yeah. No, that was a good little storyless movie. Extra? I mean, it was fun, and you're right. The Kelpie My Little Ponies need to be shot. But fun nevertheless.
Can I just say, speaking of another Disney show, I'm really sad that in Gravity Falls we didn't get to see the fight of Mabel, Wendy, and the other girls versus the fucking unicorns.
Yes, just the ramifications.
I wanted to see Mabel give one of them a stone cold stunner.
That would have been amazing.
And then chug some beer? And then punch Mr. McMahon. You're alright, Mabel!
I love his ideas.
He is insane in this show.
A chainsaw axe.
I like Full-Time Glomgold is in the original show he was whatever. He was like evil Scrooge. In this show, he is just so crazy bitter. Like, he is so dedicated to this task he doesn't need to do because he still has more money than he'll ever need. The chainsaw axe motherfucker thinks he's fucking Frank West. Like,
Is he even Scottish?
yeah, he's Scottish.
Is he?
Yeah, Scottish.
Okay.
I don't know if his voice actor's Scottish.
Oh, I don't care about that. Fucking taping a chainsaw to an axe. For fuck's sakes.
Donald sleeps in an inner tube outside his boat? Did he do that when it was still in the ocean? There are a lot of things that can go wrong with that plan. That a lesser person might find troubling. Donald can probably take it. Still weird.
There's so many questions on that. I mean, he could run afoul of a lot of problems doing that.
That was better, but now you're just apologizing.
No, I'm not.
You're like, I'll show him I'm the voice of Raisin.
So you're all dried up?
I'm making fun of you, asshole.
It's not working.
Fucking hate you.
What's the viscosity of gold again?
0!
And, just how many miles per hour could a boat actually go with a motor?
0! Wait, gold? Oh, gold! 0.
There might be some iron and some copper in there as well. What is their viscosity?
It depends. Are you a boat? Or are you Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star?
I'm gonna go with boat for this one.
0.
Well, fuck.
If you're Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star, he doesn't care.
Neither does Scrooge somehow.
He will walk through that money bin, chest out, with the most amazing pectorals you've ever seen.
You know, I'm glad we're dealing with magic here, because otherwise this would be absurd.
Hey, Magica didn't talk a lot the last few appearances she had. This episode, she's just chatting up a storm.
I know.
This episode, she's like, ha ha ha, I'm evil and witty, too. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this. Apparently, Poe told me in an interview, they said that Magica is supposed to be this show's Bill Cipher. In terms of power level.
Oh,
and I'm like,
goody.
And I'm like, oh, wow. So, Bill Cipher was pretty funny, too, now that I think about it. There could be some parallels.
Well,
then again, old Magica was often pretty funny as well.
In a dumb villain sort of way, though.
She was pretty good.
I mean, her intelligence level was massively increased for the remake of the DuckTales game.
No, she's always kind of had a bit of a wit about her. Even in the comics originally, when she and Madame Mim, isn't that a weird one? Magica the Spell is friends with a character from fucking the Disney Merlin film, Sword in the Stone.
Yeah.
She's always had a bit of a wit about her. What I miss about this version is she's lacking the accent.
Yeah, she is. Oh, well. I guess they didn't want to go with a vampire kind of accent like she had back then.
Well, wasn't Magica kind of loosely based off of Elvira or something?
Yes.
Yeah, so... Then again, this is a reimagining, right?
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
everything's going to be the same. Except, clearly, Donald Duck's voice. I ship these two so hard. And I have
Don't say it.
non-pornographic images of the two. Because Disney is not going to give me what Steven Universe recently did. And that's canon. Lesbians.
Fair enough.
Dave, I ship them, and I'm going to be so sad when Lita stabs Webigail with the Lance of Longinus. And she turns into the final angel.
Oh, God.
Is that what I was going to say? That's what happened in Ava, right? Okay, Dave, before we get back to the show, can you quickly sum up what Ava was about? You have 5 words. And they can't be... That's
already more.
No, that's 1 word.
God. Shinji so sad, suck it.
You almost had a perfect alliterative 5 words. Can you rephrase that and replace it with something that starts with S?
Shinji so sad, sucks them.
I'll take it.
Back to the show. This was such a nice episode for Scrooge.
Oh yeah, a lot of development, a lot of fondness for your enemy and your frenemy, really.
Well, and I made the reference that it's kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that movie from a number of years back.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
totally is. The fighting, the dancing, the backstabbing, everything else. It was a very nice story.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this episode.
It's also funny how they keep on name dropping demonic dimensions and everything else. It's like, I'm pretty sure if you looked up the wiki, it'd be like, okay, yeah, they've been there.
It's probably all on Webby's board somewhere, too.
Probably.
Dave, go back to that and give me a fucking timestamp.
This is awesome. So, you want to go from about 7:43
Okay, leave it up here.
at 7:44.
Leave it right. We have a little bit to talk about.
This is hilarious.
Are you telling me that in the canon of new DuckTales exists the original gummy bears
It sure looks like
bouncing here and there and everywhere?
Yep.
High adventure that's beyond compare.
They are the gummy bears.
They are. And they are here. What?
And in the next shot, it shows them with the amulet.
If gummy berry juice is a plot device in this show and that's how they beat Magica,
That's awesome.
that's awesome. I don't know why I started that with if.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. And it's the original sprites and everything for them.
Did you call them sprites?
Yes, I did.
They're not video game sprites, Dave. But I'm too excited to rub that in any further.
Don't you know, I see everything in video game sprites. You're made up of about 5 pixels.
I am very blocky and fat. Fucking shit. This changes nothing, but I wish it changed something.
Well, I'm glad they're willing to reference their older work. We haven't heard anything about gummy bears since the original TV show.
Oh my god, if they're here... Holy shit, I will lose my mind. Is the entire Disney afternoon coming back?
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the amulet.
You're making a bounce serum. The untold powers of the ancient creatures is bouncing.
Yes, they'll be bouncing here and there and everywhere. Mass destruction that's beyond compare.
That is fantastic.
The fact that they could work that into a villain speech is awesome.
That is I love that. I love that. And that's only for us.
I know.
Oh, okay, let's be real. It's for anyone with an appreciation of gummy bears, and perhaps hinting that they may be making a comeback at some point.
Maybe, but you have to admit, unless you grew up in the 90s, or are a fan of old Disney cartoons.
I only said what I said because lately I've been wary, as we are both cisgender white men, of declaring things are solely for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Because fans who do that chase people away from making Star Wars films, let's say.
Fair enough. But unless a person was a fan of early 90s Disney cartoons, like Gummy Bears hasn't been touched in almost 3 decades.
It had to have aired again at some point.
The Disney Channel ended in the late 90s.
Disney Channel's still around. What intro do you think has been in each of these completely legal files that we've been watching these in?
The Disney Afternoon ended in the late 90s.
Disney XD continued strong, and I'm pretty sure they show old stuff there too. I mean, why not?
Well, that I can't argue.
I absolutely adore that there were some musical cues during the score to the old Gummy Bears soundtrack.
Yep.
Holy shit! I was not expecting that. You said while we were watching it, I can't believe this is happening.
An actual... We saw different little battles / encounters in Gummy Bears of them using the juice, but never outright combat like this.
Yeah, it's like, it's such a nerdy thing. It's like, you know what would be cool? If secret agents got gummy berry juice and they had a bounce battle. And we just saw it!
You know, the fact that they could run around on their feet, but they had to bounce on their asses, that was totally Gummy Bears.
Vintage Gummy Bears.
Nerding out right now, because that is awesome.
Did they ever mention the exact formula in the old show?
No, because that was always a secret.
I wonder if that was the formula.
That probably...
From the show. Obviously, it's the formula in this canon, but...
Still, that is so awesome.
Fuck! That was great.
I mean, this... We already knew that Webby was trained to the teeth for combat, but now we see her in actual action. We now know that McDuck was actually a secret agent for... Probably still is.
I know I talk a lot about how I'm glad Donald's part of the show. He doesn't have to be in every episode because he's Donald Duck. He's always going to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
The same applies to Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They're always going to be way more famous than Webbigail and even Scrooge and Miss Beakley. So I'm okay with a lot of episodes focusing on these characters, especially Webby. She's very endearing. Well, I just like seeing Scrooge as a secret agent of some kind.
That's hilarious. I was going to say, I like right now that, you know, he gave her permission to call him Uncle Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a throwback also to the original DuckTales.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love seeing Scrooge get closer to everybody around him. He honestly cares.
In the original... sorry, go on. I thought
and that's amazing.
In the original show, all it took was the original, 3 or 4-parter pilot for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Here it's happening gradually, which is nice.
Which makes sense. I mean, he even kind of... Scrooge is looking at himself a little bit. He's like, you've lived in my house for so long, but I don't know anything about you.
Yeah, that's true.
If one thing the kids come to live with him and everything else has done is made him expand... I'm not going to say expand his universe, because obviously he's been adventuring. Mm-hmm. But his personal bubble has expanded to fit these people into his life.
Absolutely. It's nice to see. You hit the nail right on the head.
Fucking gummy
bears.
Juice. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
And the book they're talking about was the book that the gummy bear that always wore the medallion was always carrying around with him.
This would be okay as just a little one-off shout out to gummy bears. It would be something else entirely if we see them again, though.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. They're being called the Ancients.
Dave, what did you think of the Sky Pirates?
Well, that was colorful.
It was definitely colorful. I will admit, I kind of wanted more of a bit of a nod to Tailspin. It was more that they just borrowed some villains from Tailspin and made them DuckTales villains, which is fine too. And I kind of like that Don Carnage and his crew are musically gifted. And Don Carnage is no less ruthless. He'll still kill those he doesn't fucking want around, right? But
Not that the guy died.
Don Carnage didn't give a shit at that point.
True. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for more Tailspin, less Disney theatrical, but it's a good nod to Tailspin.
Plus, they could be players later, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, we'll see Don Carnage there again. Because now he'll have a thing against Captain Dewey.
yeah.
Also, why would you stop steering the fucking plane?
A lot of people in this show, an unlikely number of people, too, stop steering airborne vehicles.
Yes.
With no autopilot.
How don't they see him playing with a giant crystal ball?
You probably had the worst time. That mouthful of cookie.
Oreo.
And you paused it.
Oreo.
It's an Oreo, yes, thank you. Thank you for the Oreo, Dave. Please continue with what your thought now that I can talk.
No, I'm just saying, he's not even really hiding it, just using it out in the open. How wouldn't any of them notice?
Yeah, it's a conspicuous glowing orb, like...
Come on.
The most treacherous terror I've ever faced.
Oi! Jettison that jalopy from my driveway this instant, you deadbeat!
Daddy. Mummy.
Wait.
How?
How the fuck are your parents still alive?
That's like in The Simpsons when we discovered Mr. Burns dodges calls from his mom.
Didn't realize that, actually.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
She's well in her hundreds.
I mean, Scrooge is pushing over 100. How in the fuck can your parents still... What, are they immortal?
It's like the Avatar universe, where one of the avatars was like 800 years old. And still hot.
What?
Kyoshi. Avatar Kyoshi.
She was 800 years?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
She lived into her 800s.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And she was still hot.
Being the Avatar can't make you long-lived. I mean, look, Aang died at like 30.
60. But yes.
They never did tell us how, though.
Apparently his time in the ice was not free.
Ah. Okay.
Apparently his body was, his
Damaged.
longevity was cut short.
Gotcha.
Kind of a real sad way to go when you think about it.
Is that in, like, the manga, or is...
In the manga? No, that is, I forget if I read that in an interview before Korra came out, or it was mentioned in Korra proper.
Okay. I do like how his dad's line was the exact same line that Scrooge said to Donald when he pulled up.
Yeah.
That's a good touch.
Yeah, it's the Spear of Selene. It looks like a spear.
Yeah, it looks very, spearish.
Or like an arrow got shot into something almost.
Yeah. Or some sort of ship?
Could be a ship. It could be a ship with that thing in the middle being the booster and it's firing out fire. It could.
Oh, shit. Turn that 90 degrees.
And it's an eyeball? Wait, which 90 degrees?
Turn it upwards.
Okay, and what are you thinking?
What fires up?
What fires up? I'm not following you.
Rocket.
Yeah, a rocket, a ship. That's
Spaceship.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, a ship. Sorry, I knew that.
Sorry, when I was saying ship, I wasn't saying
okay,
spaceship.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're down to the last 2 episodes.
Okay, let's finish it off.
Also, isn't Launchpad's ship very reminiscent of the Tailspin ship?
His plane. That one in that episode definitely looked a lot like Baloo's.
Let's discuss this for a second. So, I understand them being upset,
They are kids, after all.
but they're kinda in the wrong on this one, I feel.
Well, obviously we're adults. We understand
exactly.
that Scrooge did everything he possibly could, right? But there's a lot of blame going around. There's a lot of emotion riding on this. And there's a lot of emotion for Scrooge, too. This led to a rift between him and Donald, right?
And is now creating a rift between him and the kids.
And I like that. There was a lot of outbursts and him telling Webby, "You're not family," and her just looking at him like almost about to cry. That was good. It was a good emotion.
Yeah.
That was a powerful scene at the end of that episode. Holy shit.
You know, I actually think that maybe Disney should have done a little bit less bright ending to this one. Like just the outro. They've changed the exit audio before. This one kind of deserved a
bit of a somber one.
Somber one, yeah.
It's not the final episode of the season, though, right?
I know, but that's why that probably should have been done. Because you're right. We learned so much in the past 5 minutes that we've been asking this whole season. And I'm glad they showed us the scenes with him there. I mean, granted, the lowering of the money in his bin doesn't... It's just money. But still, I mean, he was letting it drain as much as he needed to try and find her.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of emotion there.
Oh. Pushed away everybody important. I mean, even the butler was leaving.
Even Duckworth, yeah.
That.
Unless Duckworth was just helping them with their bags. But it was a ghost bag, so I think not.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the season.
So this one's last episode of the season, and it's called The Shadow War.
Oh, good. Let's finish it off.
You know, you want to start end something with a war. And seeing as they're saying shadows, well, who's master of the shadows?
Darkwing Duck. I follow you.
Now, I don't know if you read any controversy about this episode.
Nope.
I've kept away from spoilers and everything else, but I did see a small little clip that people were very pissed off at, and it has to do with Donald's voice.
Oh, so you're aware... Did you see the Don Cheadle part?
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, did you see the little interview he did?
Yes.
Where it had Thanos Survivor in the description? Okay. What's the controversy you heard, since we're clearly talking about the same thing? Well, now, there's a part in this episode where Donald takes a voice modulator thing and it makes his voice Don Cheadle, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And for some reason...
Hang on, don't judge. What's the controversy? Don't say for some reason.
The controversy is people don't like them messing with Donald's voice.
Is that it? Is there a reason why? Is there some problematic kind of element to it?
No,
or is it just that
literally people are just losing their shit because how dare you alter or even have a scene where I think it might be around possible like speech impediments and stuff like that.
If that's the issue, I get that issue. Even if I would still watch this. If it's just that they're upset that Donald's voice is different, fuck them. These are the same people who are upset at that newer Looney Tunes show, which was hilarious because it wasn't classic Looney Tunes, right? So,
granted. Just thought I'd mention that before the episode.
Yeah, that's fine. What, did they all move to Donald's boat? Is Miss Beakley there too? Is Duckworth there? It's like, hey, can we crash in your boat? It's kind of small, but okay.
I also like how the boat has changed colors since last episode. Last episode it was blue and white. Now it's
the sunset. It's colored lighting.
No. Bad.
I'm sorry.
Do not make excuses for it.
I'm so ashamed. Fuck, I hate Gladstone Gander so much. Of course his shadow gave him the money and left.
Of course his shadow's a big piece of shit as is. Holy crap.
Every ant he steps on by accident drops a Valman weight. Everyone.
He does the first level of Castlevania and gets the fucking...
It drops off the Medusa head.
Yeah.
All right, Just like when I led that uprising in Yugoslavia, I'll take the wheel, you...
My house, my rules.
Aye, aye, sir. Get ready for the storm.
I am the storm.
No, seriously, have you been saying things like that this whole time?
Here's the thing, I think Donald has. I don't know, I kind of like the regular Donald voice saying shit like that. But I'm also a fan of Don Cheadle, so I'm okay.
Okay, look. Over time, I might get a little bit annoyed with Donald's regular voice, but I grew up with it, so it's fine. But I wouldn't mind if this is like a thing that kicked in here and then with different voice actors doing his voice for a day. Just because it's hilarious to have this sort of conversation. I am the storm, for fuck's sakes. Well, okay, so we got stuff to talk about.
I adore that after Magica got depowered, she fucking throws out a smoke bomb, vanishes, and then they look 3 feet. She's like,
You trying to get away fast.
Why did they let her leave? She's just going to come back more powerful. I'm a little disappointed because I heard in interviews that Magica Dispel in this universe was going to be a Bill Cipher level threat. No, she went down fast.
Well,
she wasn't even a Genie Jafar level threat.
Well, and that's the funny thing is, yeah, she won at first, but once she actually had, the family working together, she wasn't... I mean, Webby, come on. Webby is like their fucking attack dog against her. She was doing 2 and 3 hit combos in that shield. It was actually buckling. That was amazing.
I think I get the Don Cheadle complaint now.
Okay.
Because he was Donald's voice for quite a bit of that episode.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, it steals Donald's thunder a bit because he was so awesome in this episode. I get the complaint, but ultimately, it was still Donald. It was just a cool guest spot for Don Cheadle, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
I get how people might want, it to be Donald there, but they wanted to show that Donald was actually talking all badass. It's just because of, Donald's voice, you weren't getting it.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Don made Donald awesome.
I like that video on YouTube where it's like, it shows the prep work he did. I just love that when they described him, one of the descriptors was Thanos Survivor.
Yeah. So, obviously, Lena will be brought back. She's not dead.
She better be. I still ship her and Webby.
And I'm totally okay with that. The fact...
And in a way, she's inside Webby. I'll let myself out.
Really?
That's why I'm letting myself out. That was absolutely garbage. I apologize in advance to Jesus and to Jehovah and to Jesus Hova.
The fact that Scrooge offered to take her into his house means the moment they realize that she's in Webby's shadow,
mm-hmm.
they're going to be looking for some sort of magical way to give her her own body so she can live.
Yeah.
There's no way he would let her stay trapped like that the moment they realize.
No, I get it. I understand that. Obviously, Magica is going to come back in more of a traditional way she did in the original DuckTales, where she'll have her own hideout and she'll use more traditional magic now that she doesn't have, I guess, a shitty facsimile of Bill Cipher's powers.
Yeah, she wasn't that great in this. I mean, yeah, the shadows were cool and everything else. She was definitely more powered up than she was, in the old game or in the old show.
She was funnier, though.
Yes.
Like, she was always kind of had this, kind of had this wit about her, this kind of dark humor about her. And here, yeah, she was funny. She was kind of witty and amusing. I like the character. I just wish that, this big threat that she was, maybe, though, it could be that they're saving this. And when she comes back more powerful than ever, it will be really the Bill Cipher level threat. They could have been talking later.
Because, I mean, ultimately, let's face it, when it comes to her being all powered up and everything else, we're looking for a battle of wits and a battle of strength between her and Scrooge.
And Scrooge was dodging her like nothing, right? Like
exactly, and he didn't really get that big of a chance to fight her all powered up. It was more of he disarmed her so easily, and then her staff breaks, and oh crap, there goes my powers.
This Scrooge is way more powerful than original DuckTales Scrooge, who would have cowered before Magica.
Yes.
This Scrooge will fight a fool.
Well,
and I guess that's one of the things I really like about DuckTales is that in the old show and even in the old comics, the Beagle Boys or Magica or some big threat happened, and they were rendered helpless and they had to sneak around them. Here, they'll fight them head on, man. Like,
yeah, it's great how they've changed the series and updated it to make it so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I
wish Webby was a little more heartbroken over Lena's death. She kind of took that a little too in stride, I thought.
It's also adrenaline from the battle. I mean, I would expect episode 1 of season 2, we're going to see a much more heartbroken Webby.
Maybe. Yeah, I thought this was a fitting end to the season.
Oh, no kidding.
The thing about Della Duck and Magica kind of resolved itself, but Della is still quite alive on the moon.
Where has she been this whole time? Because that cannot be a wreck from 10 years earlier. There's no way she would have enough supplies and everything else to survive on the moon. I mean, she was doing soldering to get the TV working there. Like, she had to have been, like, in stasis or something for that period. She didn't look that much older than her self in the pictures. But, I mean, still, that's a hell of a teaser to give us for season 2.
Maybe that was the surprise she had at seeing her boys, right? Maybe there was some kind of stasis device on the ship and she's only waking up now.
Could be, because, yeah, that was massive wreckage across...
Magica breaking out and it being the lunar eclipse might have also been a catalyst for that. That involves the moon, right?
But she was sealed 15 years earlier. Della's only been gone for 10.
Oh, it might not have anything to do with the original seal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, them revealing Della is alive. I figured she was going to be, and that she'd have a point, but I didn't expect that last-second teaser for, she's there and alive so close.
Plus, if Scrooge sent out a fleet, they would have checked the moon. So I think this lends credence to maybe this is a recent thing. Maybe the cosmic storm she ended up in warped her somewhere.
Could be. That's why they couldn't find her.
And then when she warped back, she was on the moon. You never know.
I mean, this would mean that, Scrooge and his employees have been all across the cosmos looking for her.
Mm-hmm.
All those ships he built to go after her. I mean, they've dropped so much these last couple episodes. It's just, wow.
Season 1 as a whole was a lot of fun. I really like this remake of DuckTales. I like that how they hint at other Disney afternoon things like Tailspin and Gummy Bears. Gummy Bears of all
Gummy
things.
Bears. Mass
Destruction. That's beyond compare.
Oh, God, I've gone back and watched that segment so many times because it's just hilarious how they got the entire comparison to the old song right in there.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Even in this one where they had freaking Launchpad doing the Darkwing Duck.
Wishing he could rhyme with fight. I like how he keeps trying to crash and keeps getting batted away.
He's getting more and more annoying. Oh, Lord. That was... Also, I mean, Donald took on Shadow Gyro Duck and...
Gizmo Duck.
Yeah. And won.
Yeah, he's Donald Duck. You don't sleep on Donald Duck. This show's Donald is easily the most powerful Donald as well.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Kingdom Hearts Donald, because Kingdom Hearts Donald can cast Ultima, but I mean, this Donald can fuck you up with these. And I just put up my fists towards the mic.
I think that's also why they did the whole voice change for part of this, is they wanted to show Donald at kind of like how he was at his peak. and giving him the voice while kicking ass, making him completely understandable, so we're understanding all the turns of phrases he's doing. It kind of elevates Donald to a higher level of awesomeness.
I hope that's not why they did it, because that would upset me. Because if that's why they did it, and it's going to be a regular thing that when Donald kicks ass, it has to be Don Cheadle.
No,
I'm not going to be happy with that.
I don't.
If that's why they did it here, I'm not cool with that either. But still, it's Don Cheadle. How can you hate Don Cheadle, man?
If they were going to do it as a reoccurring thing, I would have kept the voice synthesizer down, just shorted out. But seeing as he sped it up, it's probably a one-time thing.
Sure.
And I'm okay with that, as much as I loved the Cheadle voice from this.
Yeah, I really like the DuckTales remake. I liked this first season. I cannot wait for a second.
What else is there to say?
Yeah. It really was kind of Gravity Fallsing DuckTales up.
Are there any villains that we can remember from either the cartoon or from the comics that we haven't seen yet that they need to reintroduce?
Phantom Blot, who was a common Carl Barks villain, who was also in the original DuckTales show.
Don't remember that one.
He was more of a Mickey villain in the Carl Barks Mickey comics, but he still was occasional villain to Donald and Scrooge in the comics, and he was a villain in the old DuckTales show. There was an episode with the Phantom Blot in it. Funny enough, it was a Donald episode, but he was not involved in the fight.
Okay.
Who else? We have Flintheart Glomgold, who's been a regular fixture.
Yeah.
For regulars, we also have Mark Beaks, which they introduced and is obviously a villainous presence. Don Carnage and other Tailspins type villains. I'm sure we can get Shere Khan to be a villainous presence if we need him to.
That would be an interesting one. Especially if you get the original voice actor.
We could have any number of villains come from Saint Canard. Obviously, you could repurpose some of the Darkwing villains that haven't been in this fiction's TV show. They'll someone who just isn't connected to Darkwing Duck, but is part of the new DuckTales verse. There's a lot of things. Any version of Pete could be a villain, or not even. Pete, I hate to call him this name because they changed his. I'm going to call him the non-racist name they would give him later. Big Bad Pete. The original name he had was Black Pete.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Any incarnation of Pete they could find a way to work Rescue Rangers villainy in there. There were some human villains in Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Although they were human and not really animal people.
Mm-hmm.
And they could come up with any number of original villains, plus Magica Dispel. So yeah, there's definitely, there are definitely villains.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Take it away.
We would like to hear what you thought of the first season of DuckTales. Let us know in the comments or on our site, the home of the best anime review reaction show on the internet, Carlos and Dave Anime Rave, found at animerave.xyz. Go there now.
Tune in next time, everyone.